But then why mention Mr. Malema in this message? Because what you say is check with the CFO, Mfowethu, if it's the same with his from CIC Juju.
Much as I'm saying, they said that they are from the CIC Juju, much as I mentioned it here.
That's not what you are saying in the email. You may have meant that, but that's not what the chat says. Sorry, not the email.
Yes, much as I'm saying, I mean, writing a message might not mean what you actually want to translate, but that's what I meant.
And you don't mention Muzi and Sipho at all in this chat?
Yes, I did not mention them here.
So why do you mention Mr. Malema? Why do you not say, check if the list he has is the same one from Muzi and Sipho?
They claim to be coming from the CIC.
But that's not what you are saying here. You're not saying they are claiming.
I wanted to be clear so that when he verifies, he says, remember that we are not only speaking on messages only. We also, I also called to say this is the situation, explain in detail. A message will not capture everything, Commissioner.
Deputy Commissioner, what the message does capture is that you know the CFO to have a list from the CIC. That's what your message conveys.
Yes.
You know him to have a list from the CIC. That's
From Sipho and Muzi.
No, that's not what your message says. That's not what is captured in your message. Your message captures that you know that the CFO has a list from the CIC, and you are asking Sergeant Nkosi that the CIC should look at that list, which he has from the CIC, and compare it with the list that you say came to you from Muzi and Sipho. That's what you're doing. There are two different lists.
Commissioner, Muzi and Sipho.
Oh, sorry, the CFO should, okay, let me start. I don't want to be misunderstood. Let me start. Your message conveys that in so many words, it's not a question of interpretation. Your words in this message conveys that you know that the CFO has a list that he got, and it's a list of the CIC, in brackets Juju. You know that the CFO has that list. And what you are doing with your message is saying to Sergeant Nkosi, the CFO should compare that list, which you know he has from the CIC, compare it with this list that you say was given to you by Muzi and Sipho. That's what your message is conveying.
No, Commissioner. Sipho and Muzi came to me and said we have a list from the CIC that we have given to the CFO. I'm saying verify if this is the same.
Yeah, but your message doesn't say the CFO must confirm that the list he got from Sipho and Muzi, he should compare them, that it is the same as the one that they gave you, the same people gave to you. That's not what you're conveying. You are clearly conveying that the CFO is sitting with a list that he got from the CIC. That's what your message says.
That's what I learned from Sipho and Muzi, Commissioner.
Right. Thank you.
A few answers back, you said you don't communicate through WhatsApp chats only. You also talk. Who are you referring to? Who would you talk to?
I called Sergeant Nkosi to explain, to say I was with these two individuals that I grew with.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know who you were referring to. Yes.
Deputy Commissioner, you say these people wanted you to help them or assist them with the tender.
Yes, Commissioner.
Right? You say that. So you know that's why they gave you this list. They want to get a certain advantage through your assistance to do with the tender. So when you send the same list to the CFO, even on your version, even if one accepted your version, that you were not you didn't know that he has a list you were not conveying that he has a list from the CIC. On your version, you sent this list to what end? You know the purpose of the list. It's to get assistance and advantage in the tender process. When you send it to the CFO, it's for what purpose? It cannot be you want to verify that they are members of the ANC, of the EFF. It's irrelevant. This is a tender process. It's a tender process of the city, has nothing or should have nothing to do with whether people are ANC or not. It shouldn't matter. In fact, you should, if you were acting properly, you would have kicked them out of your office, right? And said, I want nothing to do with this. You don't do that. You forward it to the CFO.
Commissioner.
To what end are you giving him the list?
Commissioner, they make name dropping. There's a number of people who come to my office. There's ex-combatants who come sometimes with a hope that I might assist them. If they are honest, and I can see these people are honest, I do explain to them. To say, I'm no longer working with these things, I'm not involved in these things, because they were honest. But people who come and name drop someone, you'll definitely want to verify the authenticity.
So if this was authentic, what, you would have helped them with the tender?
No.
Then exactly my question, what is the point of you sharing this list with the CFO? Name dropping cannot be your explanation for it. We are talking about a tender process. They don't come to you to say, we know so-and-so. They're not. That's not the purpose. They didn't come to you to say, we know the CIC. They came to you on your version for help with the tender process. And that help is to help them get this tender. That's why, and that's what you understand. You forward the list with that understanding that these people have come to you not to name drop, but to get assistance with a tender. You forward it. And the question is, why do you forward it when you know that it's being given to you for an improper purpose? It doesn't matter whether they say the president, the mayor, deputy mayor, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. What matters is they come to you to say, assist us to get this tender, and you know that's improper. When you give it to the CFO, it is for what purpose?
If they come to me, Commissioner, and say, assist us, and not use people's name, I'll explain to them. But they are using people's name. If they could have came and be frank and honest, then I could have done that. But they are using people's name.
All right, that's your answer. Thank you.
Why did you ask Sergeant Nkosi to check with the CFO rather than just asking the CFO yourself directly?
I know that Sergeant Nkosi has a relationship with the CFO. I don't have the CFO's numbers. I don't have, a relationship with the CFO.
Why can't you just look up the CFO's number on an internal Tswane directory?
Because I knew that Sergeant Nkosi, I know him and he has a relationship with the CFO, it was gonna work better for me, for him to verify for me.
But on the face of it, this is a matter concerning the business of Tswane, is it not?
It's correct.
Someone is coming to you with a list that they say is the EFF's list and suggesting that you might interfere with the tender process in Tswani Tender TMPD 1 of 24-25 to privilege these companies. That's what the approach is about, is it not?
It's correct, as I explained, SC, that if they could have came like other people who come and say, look, we are ex-combatant or we are military veterans, can you assist? I'll explain to them to say, I don't have that authority to be able to do so. I have done so in many people.
They didn't convey to you that Mr. Malema had given a list to the CFO.
No.
No, they didn't. They just said that they had given a list to the CFO.
Correct, SC.
Why then, in your message, did you refer to a list that Mfowethu had from CIC Juju?
Much as I'm saying, it's a message, but that's what they said. My typing maybe might have appeared to be sounding otherwise.
Well, it's not your typing, it's your message. You say, check with Mfowethu if it's the same with his from CIC Juju. So your message presupposes that there is a list from Mr. Malema that has been given to the CFO.
From them. The list came with them.
Yes, but you're now telling us that what they told you is that there was a list that they gave to the CFO and that they didn't mention Mr. Malema.
No.
But you were then the first person to mention Mr. Malema.
To say they are doing that on behalf of the EFF.
Yes, but according to you, they didn't say that the list, that they told the CFO that the list came from Mr. Malema. They didn't tell you that.
No.
So they didn't say, we've come from the CFO and given him a list from Mr. Malema.
They said they have a list that is from Mr. Malema. They gave it to the CFO. When I verified with the CFO, it was not true.
Sorry, how did you verify with the CFO? Because you said earlier you were not talking with the CFO, you were talking with
I verified through Sergeant Gosi. I sent this message to Sergeant Gosi.
But then why do you say I verified with the CFO? Why don't you say I verified with Sergeant Gosi?
Through Sergeant Gosi.
Where is the text where you verified through Sergeant Gosi with the CFO?
I sent a message to Sergeant Gosi.
Yes,
to say
where is that? I'm asking for that message. Where is it?
431 Commissioner. In message 431, I'm saying, afternoon, Captain, I trust you are well. I'm saying the above is from the Red Beret. Please check with him forward to if it's the same with his and so forth to verify the authenticity.
Yes, where is that verification? Where do they come back to you and say there is no list from the EFF or there is no list from the CIC?
Sergeant Gosi called me and informed me.
Oh, it was a phone call?
Yes.
Deputy Chief, is there no contact list of the Tswane employees?
There is, Commissioner.
What was so difficult with you getting the CFO's number from that contact list, calling him and directly verifying from him? Why did this have to go via Sergeant Gosi? I took advantage of the relationship Sergeant Gosi has. No, that doesn't make sense.
CFO.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. If you want to make a genuine verification with an employee of Tswane, you being an employee of Tswane, there is a contact list which is readily available. Why don't you take that contact list and call the CFO and seek this verification? What you say about their relationship does not make sense. Why did you not do that? Why not pick up the contact list and call the CFO directly?
Commissioner, if you are close to someone, I've never had a meeting with the CFO. We meet only when it's formal meetings. I've never had a chat with the CFO.
This is not about closeness. This is about Tswane business. This is about Tswane business. and the sort of thing you should inquire about directly from another Tswana employee. It has nothing to do with familiarity. Why did you not pick up the contact list, get the number, and call the CFO? What you are saying does not make sense at all.
Commissioner, I think we should agree that we might not approach matters on the same way.
On the what?
Or on the same way. It might be ideal that I could have looked for the CFO's contact numbers and called
let's
him.
assume that you were not aware of any relationship between the CFO and Sergeant Kosi. What would you have done then?
I could have left it.
Not inquire at all.
Yes, I could have left it.
Did you
because
see a
I
need,
did not trust them.
Did you see a need to inquire from the CFO?
I did not trust them.
Did you see the need to inquire from the CFO?
Yes, Commissioner.
But you say you would have dropped the subject altogether without verifying, just because there was no Sergeant Kosi. Is that what you are saying?
I'm saying because I knew their relationship,
No. I'm talking about dropping, because I understood you have 2 questions back to say you just have dropped the whole thing. So I'm saying just because of the absence of a Sergeant Kosi, you would have dropped the subject, even though you considered it something serious enough for you to have had to inquire from the CFO. So you would have dropped it because there would be no Sergeant Kosi.
If I could have met him in a meeting sometime, yes, I might have asked him.
No, that's not my question. My question is, would you have dropped it just because there was no Sergeant Kosi?
I'm saying I could have either wait up until I go to a meeting where he is, then I could have asked him.
You said you would have dropped the subject.
At that time, I'm saying at that time, but because I knew Sergeant Kosi at that time, much as I wrote this message to him quick.
And then you would have asked him if an opportunity presented itself for you to meet the CFO, and then you would have asked him, you say.
Yes.
But I still don't understand. There is a contact list. Why wait for a chance meeting? There is a contact list. Why not pick up that contact list and call the CFO? Why wait for a chance meeting, which might never eventuate?
That was going to be more ideal for me, Commissioner, to discuss with him face to face. Because I've never had this contact or call him just to ask him about these matters.
That too, Deputy Chief, does not make sense. You want to comment?
No, Commissioner.
Yes, Mr. Chaskalson. Or let's just look at the time.